I am Malcolm Van Delst, and this is an excerpt from Do the Wrong Thing, a book series or extra long novel that opens with a woman trying to kill herself. She says, I don't know why I tried to do this, and by way of explanation, tells her Proustian or Nosgardian life story. Before I get into the reading, I listened to an agent podcast last week where one of the agents said she looked for high concept books to represent. She said that high concept means a book that can be easily boiled down to a phrase that will stick in people's minds. So I've made a couple high concepts for Do the Wrong Thing that I'd like opinions on. One is a 20th century Proust with a lot less money. And I have a question, is there another super famous work I could reference instead of a lot less money? And the second concept I came up with was Like My Struggle, if written by Lydia Yuknovich. If you guys have any other suggestions for, easy little capsule descriptions of my book, that would be great. And yes, I am willing to think of little capsule descriptions for your work as well. Regarding my book reading, we're about 2/3 through the series and about book 4. I've been reordering scenes, as I've said in previous evenings. Tonight we are picking up from where I left off last week after Ava buys her motorcycle jacket and breaks up her short-lived relationship with Jason. My questions are the jumps between scenes okay and logical? Do they work? If we get to it, I've tried to show a French-Canadian accent in the Dreadlocks part. Does it work? Or is there a way I can do it better? I don't know if I'm going to get to reading that part because this is 1,900 words. I probably won't make it that far. But if I do, hooray. Anything else? What's working? What's not? Etc. 2 months and a week after the Bad Brains concert. How was it? I asked Emily at the Pioneer before our brunch shift. She looks sideways at me and with a half smile responds, you mean the gynecology exam? I laugh. Oh God, he did that to you too? It never occurred to me that Jason would use the same moves, if what you would call what he did with his fingers a move, with both Emily and I, but of course he would. Of course any person would use the same moves on different people, which means I have moves too. Right up in there with his fingers, Emily says, holding her hand and wiggling her first 3 digits. I laugh again. Well, at least he has long ones. You gonna see him again? No, she shakes her head. Enough for me. I nod. When I was with Jason, I thought we might work out the uncomfortable sex. And with her, I thought they might have more in common. I should have cut it short like her. My move is to keep seeing a guy, letting him end it because I'm depressed and unreliable. Check this out, I say, holding up Emily's magazine and pointing to a picture. She sits across from me in a cafe. Sometimes we do this, take magazines downtown to a trendy cafe, hang out, drink and read for a few hours. I'm looking at New Musical Express. I'd never buy it for myself, too mainstream. Isn't this the coolest hair, I say? Yeah, Emily nods, looking at the photo. Is it a guy or girl, I ask. Emily peers forward. I can't tell, she says. I turn New Music Express back to myself. Whatever this person is, they're beautiful or handsome. Their hair is styled into long tubes from the scalp all the way down to their waist. Long, white. Actually, they're more like sausages in tubes because they're solid and dense. Tall, thin, and picking gracefully through grass, a mountain in the background, beach to the right, some anonymous music festival attendee captured by the enemy photographer. I'm just going to mute people because someone is, someone's got a, quite a screechy thing going on. So I don't know where it's coming from. Okay. Dinner shift at the Pioneer. It's starting to get dark outside. I smile as I approach a table of regulars. I love these people. An older woman, 2 punkish-looking girls, and a boy my age. They're not extravagant tippers, a solid 10%. One of the girls is an electrician and the other a plumber. They're socialists. I know this because they bring in pamphlets and literature that they sometimes read while they eat. The older woman smiles. Actually, they all smile and try not to stare. I'm washing it out as soon as I get home, I tell them. They laugh. My hair is Lego brick red. It's so stiff and dry, it even looks plastic. Ronald McDonald's evil sister, Emily teases when I get to the back of the restaurant. I smile, but I'm mortified. Emily's friend Macy is an amateur hairdresser. Macy is Emily's best friend, or was, before she left for Concord to study sign language. I don't understand this. If she had a deaf brother or sister, I could understand, but apparently there are no deaf people in her family. While she's in school in Concord, she only visits Arbor every month or so. Let Macy do your hair, Emily had said. She's really good. Can she make me look like the person in New Musical Express? I'll ask her. In Emily's kitchen, approximately 5 hours before, Macy had backcombed and molded my hair into a cross between dreadlocks, what the hairstyle in Any Me is called, and a mohawk. I stared at 8 cones pointing out from my head in all directions. I knew she'd make me look ugly. I knew it. She's unattractive with her wide chin, thin lips, and skeletal frame. And she doesn't like me. She's jealous that I'm Emily's best friend now. Cool, I say, but how will I sleep? Macy washed out the cones while I checked the time, 3:45. She pulled out tubes of Schwarzkopf hair color, fire engine red. She'll do it for free, Emily had said. She likes doing hair. All you need to do is pay for product. Want to go red? Macy asked. I eyed the tubes. It's getting kind of late. We need to be at the restaurant for 5. Oh, we'll have time, said Macy. I looked at Emily. Have you ever had red hair? She asked. Nope. Try it. It'll look good. Okay, I said, looking back at Macy. While she painted in the color, Emily inserted a Sonic Youth cassette. I love Evil, said Macy. Emily nodded, but I said nothing. Sonic Youth is so overrated. It's not going to be too red. My hair was already dyed platinum with no color of its own to absorb the red. Nah, Macy drawled. It's going to look great. I checked the clock again. An hour until Emily and I had to be at work. Don't worry. Macy gave me her usual cold smile. She hates me. I know she does. 4:30. Look, you got to wash it out, I said. I have to be at work in half an hour. Yep, follow me. I bent over Emily's kitchen sink as Macy washed out fire engine red, then blow dried my hair. When she held up a mirror for me to see, neither her nor Emily said a word. I stared in horror. At home after work, I wash my fire engine red hair 5 or 6 times in a row. Washing takes some of the color out, but not all. I go back to the salon that bleaches my hair the next morning. While I'm there, I ask them about dreadlocks, but they don't know what they are. Johnny stands in my living room looking at my white sheet, which is now covered with plastic donuts of all sizes and shapes, spray painted with more pink, green, and black X's and lines, and all overlaid with plastic film, spray painted with more X's and lines. It's great, he says, looking over at me. Then he laughs. You don't believe me. No, I do. Well, he laughs again. When do you want to bring it to Nerd? Oh, we should wait until Corey takes her stuff down. I think she's coming by on the weekend. Can you bring it on Saturday? My heart pounds. My art is going up at Nerd and Doof. Johnny puts my sheet up on the gallery's back wall by the drum kit. I worry that it'll get wrecked at a music show. It's a good spot for it, but not very art gallery. He could have put it in the front room, on the wall there. Still, more people will see it by the drum kit. They'll come for the bands and have no choice but to see my art. Don't just talk about it, do it! Henry Rollins screams from my ghetto blaster. It's cranked as loud as it'll go because no roommates. The machine sits on top of the plywood TV stand or bookshelf, which looks like this. Picture of plywood TV stand or bookshelf. Do it, do it, do it, do it! Rollins hollers as I brush my teeth and shower for work.